Intelligent System Analytic Computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys, basically, is the grind too difficult in this game for gear, weapons, and now, especially since DivTech is now a thing that people require for the optimization station to get their builds up to maximum? How do you guys feel on this topic? I'm not going to include this week because I feel the global events don't count towards this. I'll go to you, Rob.
I feel the Division Tech is it's in an okay place. I think they could give us a bit more from dismantling stuff. But other than that, I think it's in a good place. And if you want to grind for it, there's places to go. And you can get like so much in like an hour, can't you? You can get like, if you do it in the dark zone, you can get like 400 in an hour if you're lucky.
Really? Can you farm that? I haven't looked at any videos. I know there's a load of videos out there of like the fastest routes to get like DivTech and things like that. But I know some people don't want to actually jump into the dark zone, which, you know, you should go try it out. But I have seen quite a few complaints this week, especially on Reddit, with players being like, oh, you should just get DivTech for basically doing nothing. And it's like, well, that's not really how the game works. You know, obviously a lot of new players on Reddit and on social media and things like that are new to the game, but they have to understand that if we don't have something to, you know, grind for, then there's, I'm not saying there's no point in playing the game, but there's no incentive, to keep grinding in general, is there? Luke, I'm going to go to you on this topic.
I agree with you. You've got to work for what you want. Otherwise, what's the point? It should be the same with anything. DivTech, credits, gear, weapons, whatever. It doesn't really matter what subject you're talking about. If you want it, you should have to put at least a minimal amount of effort in. It's not that difficult to run around the dark zone and call an extraction in and extract 9 gold caches. That's, what, on a good day, 45 DivTech.
I will say, I do agree that the DivTech dropping at the minute needs to be raised slightly, but I don't think it needs to be raised by much. Just, for example, like, we went and ran, we had a hell of a run at Resistance on Friday night, was it? We got to round 30, or wave 30 on Resistance.
Yeah, that's the one we failed on, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but to be honest, I thought we might have walked away with more DivTech than we actually did. I think I walked away with like 25 DivTech at the end of it. It wasn't a great deal. I think you should at least walk away with maybe 50 to 100. But then the whole situation with people trying to cheese the Resistance tier, like World Tier 1, I can kind of understand maybe why they reduced the drop rate, because people are just going to be trying to cheese the hell out of it. I don't know. It's this difficult thing, because obviously, like, no offense to anybody that enjoys Destiny, but like that game, people are looking for something to grind in that game, and they've come to the Division and they expect like a grind, but they don't want to work for it. I think I even saw like Butter put out a tweet like, if you're expecting to have an exotic drop day one for you, this isn't the game for you. You know, you have to work for it. And I think this stuff that I'm only getting now, and I've been playing the game since launch, you know. I don't know, it's a very difficult situation. I can understand, like, you've got the casual side of the community and you've got the hardcore side of the community, but I don't know where the intermediate for this is at all. I don't know what would resolve it for people.
I think this needs to be like, because not everyone likes to go into the dark zone, I think there has to be a way of getting like loads of DivTech in a few hours without going into the dark zone. Like a PvE equivalent, not a PvE, I suppose, because dark zone is half PvE anyway, but like something in the open world, like maybe giving us some from doing a mission or something. I don't know. maybe from a legendary. If you did a legendary, you should get like 25 or something.
I might be wrong here, but do you not get DivTech from field proficiency caches? Or is that Phoenix
No,
credits?
you get Phoenix credits.
Right, okay.
Yeah, Phoenix credits, yeah.
I'll shut up then.
But if you were to purely just play nothing, if you didn't go into the Dark Zone at all and didn't go into the West Side Piers, you wouldn't get any Division Tech unless you dismantled stuff. That would be the only source, and that is a chat. Like, it's not a great deal.
What's everybody sat at DivTech wise? Because, like, I'll be honest, I haven't farmed the Dark Zone. I haven't really farmed, especially for DivTech. I might, like most people, try to optimize my build with the DivTech that I had, which I had about 1,500 to 2,000 at the time. So that's gone. So over the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks now, I've probably got maybe 100 DivTech, 150 DivTech. That's not that much within a week and a half, like from just,
yeah, that's probably just from dismantling stuff, though, right?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
I mean, we haven't been in the Dark Zone, have we? We haven't actually been grinding for it.
I haven't had a chance, no.
No. That's what I mean. You should get a decent amount just by playing the game for several hours. You shouldn't have to go do certain areas of the game to get it, I feel.
But then I do kind of feel like you've got West Side Piers, and that should be, if you're trying to push people there for new content and things like that, that should also be another source of where to get your DivTech from. I mean, it's not happening at the minute. There was PvE caches there before.
Yeah, they took them away.
They took them away because people were just farming them like silly. But I think just up the rate for resistance. People are loving that game mode, and it's going to give people more of an incentive to play it if you up the rate of DivTech dropping from that. But I mean, apart from that, I still stand by that I don't want everything to drop day one. I think that's fair for everybody. I know, we discussed about GEs and the RNG being all over the place sometimes with global events, but in general, like, I don't have a house exotic weapon yet. I have a house.
I was going to say, where do you live?
I'm not telling you.
In a cardboard box.
In a cardboard box. But it's like, Rob, do you have all the exotics yet?
No.
Luke, do you have all the exotics yet?
No, not yet.
You've got the most important one, obviously, the house, but...
I've got the house, I've got Big Owl, and I've got the devil. I need the heal.
I've got the devil as well. That's the only one of the new exotics I've got.
Literally the only one that's dropped for me since 1.8 launched. Sorry. The only one that's dropped for me that wasn't saved up in an exotic cache that's dropped for me since 1.8 dropped is the house. I got Big Owl and Devil 1.8 opening night. So,
but to be fair, like, you had like a load of caches stacked, and you worked your ass off to get those caches stacked. Now, I find it a bit of a weird situation. Obviously, people want that stuff day one. I'm not super fussed about stacking caches, so I have everything. But then there's people that do, and they've put the effort in. My issue would be like somebody going, "Oh well, I've got a field proficiency cache. I want a house." It's like, well, no. Like, this dude's just saved up 140 caches and hasn't had a single one drop from it. You need to put the effort in, especially as, like, for me, I don't know whether people agree or not, but people keep asking what end game in the division is, and I don't think it's so much the content that we're playing, it's the builds to play that content. You need to optimize your build. You need to get the perfect build to go run the Dark Zone, to go run Skirmish, and you don't, obviously not perfect, but you have to get a decent build, and that, to me, is more an end game than any of the content at the end of the day. That is more important, because that's what the whole point in this week's global event is. People want all the gear sets, so they're farming their asses off for it. So no, I don't want it given to us like easy. I think DivTech, a couple of things need tweaking slightly to make it more prevalent for people actually playing the content. But yeah, any more thoughts anyway, guys?
No.
Not that's basically not just going to reset what you've said. So
okay.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete.